You know, the challenge is you got to rebuild with a lot of new players who will be younger, have new roles, less experience, and how do they respond, you know, to these new roles? And I've been pleased so far with the way our players have embraced the new roles, the new responsibilities. We're going to be a work in progress, and that's going to be critical to our success.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of the Nick Saban Show, brought to you by TruckWorks. I'm Chris Stewart, along with the head coach of the Crimson Tide. Mercer, the opponent today, Coach, 48-14. Congratulations on the win.
Well, every win's a good win, but I also think that, you know, players have to respect winning. And when you win all the time, sometimes you lose respect for winning, which means what are you going to do? Are you going to do all the things you need to do to win? And, you know, we didn't have a great week. You know, everybody's kind of heard me talk about that. And I didn't think our performance was up to the standard that it needs to be. We stopped ourselves 4 times in the first half on offense with 2 drop balls, 1 on third down, 1 big play, and 2 penalties. 1 negated a touchdown. So we have too many penalties on special teams, although I thought special teams was a real positive today in terms of the block punt for a touchdown, change field position on punt return, you know, pretty dramatically a couple times. So I was pleased with that part. The defense played really well, especially in the first half, and we played more players in the second half, and you know, it's really hard to adjust to some of the things that they do, and they hit us on a couple play action passes. So. But all in all, what you really want to do is you want to see your team improve, all right, so you can stack performance. All right, people are practicing the right way, they're doing the right things every day, so they're creating the right habits and they're stacking positive performance. All right, and that's what we need to do. I mean, we're going to play Florida now. We're going to play some really good teams in the SEC, and you know, we got to get back to fundamentally doing things in a way that's going to help us improve.
You referenced not seeing what you wanted to see today because you didn't see what you wanted to see Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday in practice. Is that among the challenges that are normally faced by teams that have so many new leaders and starters as your squad does?
Well, I think that's part of it, but I also think part of it is when you win all the time, people get a little complacent sometimes and they get satisfied. And can't be satisfied in this league. And you know, if we continue to be that way, then I don't think we're going to get the kind of result that we'd like to get.
Coach, let's get into the first half highlights.
The first punt by Turk was a 48-yarder. This one is blocked by Alabama. It's picked up on the near sideline, down the right side, and taking it in for a touchdown. Alabama with a great job blocking the punt, and then Jace McClellan comes across and takes it down the right sideline. Here's a 2nd down and 1. Quarterback under center. Peavy will look left, rolls and throws, ball tipped, intercepted Alabama. Kool-Aid McKinstry comes up with it after Drew Sanders tipped it away. Here now the snap, give to Robinson, finds running room over the left side, he is in. Touchdown, Alabama. Brian Robinson getting the running room, and he made it work. Signals it, gets the snap. Loads up, looks, finds Holden left side. Here's Slade Bolden down the left sideline. He is in. Touchdown, Alabama. Slade Bolden, they signaled to him when Bryce started waving his hands. And a quick release left side, and Slade picks up the touchdown, and Bama's on top 20-0. Tommy Brown in on the right side of the line. Handoff left side. Breaking a tackle. Stiff-arming a man. Jace takes it in. Touchdown, Alabama. On a 4th and 1 from the 4-yard line. The Crimson Tide make that last play look easy. It's just off the far hash mark. Low snap, picked up nicely, placed down, and the kick is up. And the kick is good. So a 31-yard field goal by Will Reichard.
Coach, not exactly fast out of the gate, but 31-0 at the half, an impressive number.
Well, I think that the defense played really well. I think they only had, like, I don't know, 35 yards or something at halftime, and they were 0 for 6 on third down. And, of course, that's because we created positive down and distance for ourselves on first and second down, which we didn't do as well in the second half. But, you know, I was pleased with special teams, and I was pleased with the way the defense played. But we didn't get out of the gate like we wanted to, 3 and out on offense. So we have a lot of things that this is going to give us an opportunity to look at a lot of things. Every player needs to look at himself and focus on what they need to do to improve. So there's a lot of lessons to be learned here.
We got more coming up. Stay with us here on the Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made, and by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better.
31-0 at the half against Mercer. Coach, what'd you tell them at the break?
Well, the big thing that we wanted to do coming out of last week, and you guys, everybody's heard me talk about this all week, is how do you sustain intensity? You know, and we have to prove that we can sustain our intensity. So we wanted to go out regardless of the score in the third quarter and reestablish that. I think we did that on defense, and I think we went down and scored pretty quickly, you know, on offense. So I thought we did a good job of getting started. But the message is we've got to prove that we can maintain our intensity for 60 minutes in the game, which wasn't required in this game because we played a lot of other players. But at the same time, that was the message. That was what we really wanted to focus on doing.
Let's get into those second half highlights.
Waits for the snap. Gets it. Holds on. The out route open is Jamison Williams. Touchdown, Alabama. 3 yards into the end zone. He was there. He was open, and a strike by Bryce Young. 1st and 10. Mercer from their own 39. Roble goes in motion. Quarterback follows. He'll then stop. Everybody's covering him. Here's Mathis closing in, but there's a defender that loses the receiver. Harper, he goes behind everybody and catches the pass for a touchdown. 8 catches that we've seen guys make already over the first 2 games that were just amazing. Here's a throw across the middle. Jace McClellan, he'll make it. He'll spin off the defender and carry it into the end zone. Touchdown, Alabama, 21 yards. Another good throw, and Jace McClellan combines with Bryce Young for a touchdown. It'll be their 6th first down of the day. Here now a quick throw into the right side. It's loose and caught by Alabama. Intercepted by Marcus Banks. Marcus Banks, as the pass is really not near the intended receiver, Ty James, and the junior from Houston, Texas, just circled back, and the ball came right into his arms. Solid throw, but it was off the mark, and Banks was right there. Here's a 2nd down and 3 with 12:35 to go in the ball game. Bama's up big, 45-7. Here now the quarterback steps back, throws the fade route. Defender loses the man, and that is going to be a touchdown. It's off the near hash mark, going right to left as you listen. Good snap, good spot. Kick is on the way, and it is up and good. So a 40-yard field goal by Will Reichard, and Alabama now is on top 48-14.
Coach, not unusual to see a guy score 3 touchdowns, but a little odd to see him score in 3 different ways.
Yeah, I mean, pick up a punt, run it for a touchdown, catch a pass, and run for one. So it's kind of unusual, but, you know, Jace is a really good all-around player, and it was good to see him, you know, have that kind of success today. I think this game is really going to be good for us. We did a lot of good things, so I don't talk about the good things as much as I do the bad things. I think that's part of being a coach, but I think they also provide a lot of opportunities to learn and grow. And I think how our players respond to that will be really, really important. So it wasn't as clean a game as we'd liked, but it also provides us an opportunity to learn and grow from it.
48-14 again the final as the Tide knocks off Mercer in the home opener for the Crimson Tide. We've got a lot more coming your way. Stay with us right here on The Nick Saban Show.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Tiffin Motorhomes, made to move you. And by Coca-Cola, together tastes better.
Coach, what was the turning point for you in this one?
Well, I think the turning point was really we kind of stalled out on offense in the first 2 drives that we had the ball. The defense forced 2 straight punts, but we blocked the second punt, scored a touchdown. They got the ball back. Kool-Aid picks the ball off, and we go down and score and make it 14-0. So I think that sequence of events really sort of got us rolling a little bit, and was really changed the game.
I don't know if you ever recruited Freddie Roach as a player, but you got a chance to recruit him as a coach, and wonderful to have him back at the University of Alabama.
I got history with Freddie Roach from when he was in high school. I was at LSU. I recruited him in high school. Then we got Alabama. He goes to Alabama, and he graduated from Alabama. We did everything that we could do when I was at the Miami Dolphins to sign him as a free agent, and he went and signed someplace else. Then I tried to hire him a couple times before we got him here, and couldn't get him hired. So we finally got him hired, and he has done a phenomenal job. I mean, phenomenal. Great person, really good teacher, works hard, players love him. He's very enthusiastic and energetic, and he's an Alabama guy, and I love having him on our staff.
I'll be honest, I'm really glad you didn't get him at LSU, but I'm really glad you got him at Alabama. Let's go Mercedes-Benz All Access with Freddie Roach.
Yeah, I grew up in Florence, Alabama. Went to Brooks High School there in Killen, where my dad went to school at. And, obviously came to college here at the University of Alabama, which was a great experience for me. Really enjoyed it. It was close to home. It was an in-state school. Just happy to have that opportunity.
Intercepted. Freddie Roach. Freddie Roach inside the 10. Touchdown, Alabama. That might seal the deal for the Crimson Tide.
It means a lot. I obviously playing here was a great opportunity, and played for some great coaches and made a lot of lifelong friends. And now being able to coach here and try to provide and teach guys the things that I've learned as a player and what I've learned as well as a coach. Obviously being under Coach Saban, having an opportunity to learn from the best, I think it's great. And mentoring young men. I think that's the big reason why I wanted to get involved in coaching. And obviously I thought I've learned from a lot of great coaches, and to be able to instill that in young men and having that opportunity, especially here at the University of Alabama, is great. Obviously you're there trying to help them develop, but it's a 50-50 relationship. They have to buy into what you're teaching them, and they've got to be committed to it just as much as you are, but seeing them fulfill something that they've always wanted to do in life, I think that's the ultimate goal. And I've been fortunate to have a good amount of those guys, and hope that continues. I think how you do anything is how you do everything. And I think you got to take the right approach to how I go about my business, and be within the moment. The day is the present, and tomorrow's never promised. So whatever I do today gives me an opportunity to have success tomorrow.
Coach, we love this segment. Time for you to draw up a play of the game, brought to you by CB&S Bank.
Well, I'm going to take a little time explaining this because this is kind of one of their bone sets, I'm going to call it. All right, so you have the opportunity for this guy to go in motion this way, but then you also have the opportunity for the other guy to go in motion the other way. All right, so basically we had 2 or 3 different ways that we would rotate. So this is called trap. All right, so 2's coming down to play the curl, All right, Kool-Aid is actually playing like cover 2 here. 9's going over the top. All right, but we'd only do that if they motion to trips. Okay, and we're playing man-to-man, 26 playing man-to-man on the backside. So the quarterback doesn't expect that. All right, the outside backer does a good job of forcing probably a bad throw, and Kool-Aid does a great job of breaking on the ball. All right, but I think the point that I wanted to make that makes this so difficult is when you start here, this guy might go in motion over here, and you may end up with 3 guys over here. They're always trying to get 4 guys on the side to get you outnumbered. So you always have to rotate the secondary, and the only time you play like we're playing right now, which we call clamp and clamp, is when they're 2-by-2. So all the 3-by-1s, we had to have different ways to rotate. So this was the first time that we did this in the game where we trapped the corner. Most of the time he would stay man-to-man and the safety would come down and take the guy in motion. So I think this kind of surprised the quarterback.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by the University of Alabama, where legends are made.
Coach, it's a little rare to see a guy stick around 4 years anymore, let alone 5 one place. But Brian Robinson is a guy who has stayed at home in Tuscaloosa and done very well for you.
Well, he sure has, and I'm really proud of B-Rob. You know, he's come a long ways. He's always been a good player, but he's always played with other good players at his position, so he didn't quite get the opportunity. And one good thing that COVID gave him was an extra year, and he decided to take advantage of it. And I think it's going to pay off for him. I think he's been very productive for us. He's a leader now. He does a lot of good things for our team in a lot of different ways. So really proud of the way he's developed in his career here.
Let's let the people get to know a little bit more from Brian Robinson.
Brian Robinson, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, running back. I knew I always wanted to play for Alabama. Like, I was going to do everything, possible for me, to have an opportunity to play here. And I just worked so hard for it. And once the opportunity presented itself, I didn't hesitate. Yeah, I grew up an Alabama fan. Literally, I stayed like 3 or 4 minutes away from campus, all the way up until middle school. At one point, I was, in the stands and, watching that team come out that tunnel and just wondering what it's like to be one of those guys. And now that I'm one of those guys, it's an unbelievable feeling, and I cherish that so much.
Here now the snap. Give to Robinson. Finds running room over the left side. He is in. Touchdown, Alabama.
To the Alabama football community and fans, I appreciate y'all for everything that y'all do for us, and just, y'all bring the energy that we need to come out and compete. I mean, I feel like it means so much more to me just because, everything I do for this team, I'm doing it for my city and my town and my state at the same time. So when we win games, I feel like I'm doing that for Tuscaloosa, where I grew up at. When we win championships and bring those back home, I'm bringing those back to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, where I was born and raised. So, that means so much to me. My mentality going into this season is just attack. I got to do everything I can do to, push this team forward and just contribute the best way I can to help my team be successful. So, that's kind of where I'm at with it.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Aflac. Get to know us at aflac.com.
Coach, what's next is another nationally televised game or the start of conference play as you head down to the Swamp.
Well, we have a lot of respect for Florida. We played them in the SEC championship game. Coach Mullen has done a fantastic job there. They've got a lot of good players. This most certainly will be the best team that we've played to this point on the road in a tough place to play. So this will be a great opportunity for us to see where we're at against a really, really good team. So, but that's the SEC. I mean, there's a lot of good teams, and That's why you got to stack your performance and create the right habits so that you can play good week in and week out.
Always appreciate your time, Coach. We appreciate you joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on The Nick Saban Show, brought to you by Truckworks.
The Nick Saban Show is brought to you by Coca-Cola. Together tastes better. By the University of Alabama, where legends are made. And by Trustmark. People you trust, advice that works.